So just another kind of cool thing that happened today. So I've been volunteering at the Browns Mill Urban Food Forest in South Atlanta, and it is a really cool place. If you haven't seen about it, you got to check it out. There have been a couple of articles going around, but I think food forests, that's the way of the future. That people could be able to walk through a forest and pick edible plants for free. That's my dream. So we have to do a lot of work in order to make a place like that viable and available. But what was cool today, I was volunteering and I was mostly just moving mulch, but there's great power in learning how to move earth. Anyway, while we were there, they were having a greenhouse masterclass, and I tried to sneak in and they said, no volunteers. I said, okay. And we left. But there was a guy hanging out that said, my name's Dave and I'd love to teach you how to inoculate a log with mushrooms. So I says, hell yeah. So he took us down to the picnic tables and brought out a couple of logs, and we drilled into the logs and we added the spores, and then we covered each of the little holes with wax, and we hit the wax with a blowtorch and just glossed it over. And it was me and 3 other people, and we were all working on our different logs, and at the end of this hour training, he just says, great, they're yours, take them. So I came home with an inoculated log. How cool is this? Yeah, look at that. So you drill these holes about 6 inches apart, and he actually put on here, this is a piece of sweet gum tree. I've yet to learn the Latin. I will learn the Latin. I should learn the Latin for blackberry and a number of others. Anyway, but what he said was that you take this log, and because this isn't a crazy sturdy wood, it's kind of soft, that the shiitakes, the Jupiter variety shiitakes, will be able to grow through here if we keep the moisture right. So he said the trick for that is, and he gave me this bag, he just took a standard paper grocery bag, and he cut down the sides, not all the way to the bottom. So in the bottom, you put the log, and then you put this setup on basically a nest of pine straw. And that will prevent different competing fungi from growing up through the bottom. And that this setup will act kind of like what a cabbage does, where it sets out these leaves like this, and that's what captures the rain and funnels the rain down into the sort of swell down here. Because if the rain, or if I were watering it, would basically hit this log and roll right off, and so the fungus needs, he said, somewhere between 50 and 70% moisture, or some say. So he said that if you leave this out, the rain will actually catch in here and come down to the bottom, and then the log over time will soak that moisture up. He also offered us some tips on watering schedules, but he said that with this being a more cold-loving mushroom, that we'll have shiitakes growing out of it in about a year. But that's okay. If you could only see what this garden had looked like when I got here a year ago, and that's really what we're after. Things that are slow grown. That's what it's all about. Your love has to be slow grown. Your wisdom has to be slow grown. Your self-care has to be slow grown. So I got time. We got time. We'll just keep on with it, and I'll try to convince my parents to take care of my pet log for a year. Who knows? I think maybe if we can get it going with a strong start, then it'll turn out nicely. It'd be kind of cool to have our own mushrooms. And if you haven't grown mushrooms before, I mean, it's weird, but it's exciting.